Hello, thanks for joining me today. In case you're new here, my name is Jennifer Harvey, and I'm the founder of Chicsparrow.com, where we make and sell travelers' notebooks. I love anything that has to do with journaling and studying. I'm huge into studying not only the Bible, but other subjects as well. And I'm not much of a planner, but I'm doing better with that. And today I thought I would show you something that I learned before the internet existed. And I know there are lots of people on the internet that do what I'm about to show you, but I learned it from a lady who was teaching me how to restore my books. And so I'm going to teach you what I learned from her. And this is a unique way to add a tip-in into your book. Now, what she taught me was how to reattach pages after they've fallen out of a book, but I sometimes use it to add pages into a book. So like, for instance, if I wanted to add a page into my Bible, because this particular Bible doesn't have any room for notes at all, so if I wanted to add a page here, kind of like a page in here, so that I could make notes, then there's a couple different ways that I could do that. And so I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm sure most of you are familiar with how to use washi tape to do that. I'm not going to use washi tape today, mainly because I don't have enough room. As you can see, the gutter of the book, there's not enough room to use washi tape. If I did use washi tape, I would cover up the words and I wouldn't be able to read it, although it would look really pretty, but that's not the goal today. The goal today is to be able to have a sheet of paper added into the book so that I can make notes on it. Now, I do want to give you a word of caution. If you add too many sheets of paper to a book that's bound like this, you will destroy the spine and your book will need to be completely repaired in order for it to be usable. So don't get too crazy with this because you want to keep your spine intact. Always protect your spine. You can do this method, the two methods that I'm going to show you. You can do it in a staple bound insert, and I'm going to show you how that goes in one of these. You can do it in a perfect bound. This is called perfect binding. It's glued, so you can see the glue here. It might be sewn as well. It is. This is also stitched, but you could do it in a perfect bound as well. And this one, I think this is a glued binding actually in this one, so this will work perfect for what I'm going to show you, because this is an inexpensive Bible that you can just buy off the shelf of a bookstore anywhere. This one's old. I don't know how old it is, but I haven't had it that long. I've only had it a couple of years. I got it secondhand. I love buying secondhand Bibles. Call me strange. But anyway, let me tell you what it is that you're going to need for today. You're going to need either a paper cutter or a cutting mat and a ruler. This is what I like to use. I don't like paper cutters because the blades get really dull and then they ruin your paper, and I don't know. I just prefer this. And then I have an X-Acto. Well, it's not the X-Acto brand, but it's basically, a cutting knife like the X-Acto knife. I have 2 Q-tips. I have a quarter, and I have a little washer there, and I have some PVA glue. This is archival quality, so it doesn't have acid in it, and that's the one I use. I have a spare piece of paper. And then I have the pages that I want to tip in to my books that I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to start with the Bible one first, and I'm going to do it twice to show you how that is done. So let me just clear my workspace here a little bit. The other thing that you want that I don't have, and I'm going to be okay without it, but I highly recommend you do not skip this step. But since I don't have it, I am going to skip it because I don't have it. And that is wax paper. You're going to want a sheet of wax paper, and I'm going to use this paper instead of wax paper, but please use wax paper. You'll have a much better result. I've done this many times, so I'm confident that I'm going to be okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cut down your paper. So I have this here that I typed up on my computer, and I printed it on Tomoe River paper, which is the lightweight one. And I wanted Tomoe River paper because the Bible pages are very thin, and I didn't want a really thick piece of paper in there. I wanted it to kind of just blend in. And so I typed, this is a prayer for when you begin Bible study, and I wanted to put that in the beginning of the Bible so that I always remember to have the right mind when I'm doing that. And so the first thing I did was I measured it very, very carefully, and then I rounded out the corners so that the corners wouldn't be sticking out of the book. So that's the first thing you're going to do, is you're going to measure it very, very carefully and make it slightly smaller, like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the actual page, so that when you close the book, it's completely hidden and it doesn't stick out. Unless you want it to stick out, then you do you. But I want it to be invisible when you close the book, so that's what I did. I cut it about a 1/16 of an inch too small. All right, and so the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to pick the place where you want to put it, and I'm going to put it right here, because then I can write notes here and behind it and on the back of it. So I have plenty more note space, which I really like to have. So this is where I'm going to put it. And now I'm just going to put the page, keep the page there, which is fine. And so now what I'm going to do is I have these Q-tips. Now do not be tempted to use this part of the Q-tip. Okay? Don't use the head of the Q-tip. You will end up with cotton all over the place, and you don't want that. So I am just going to cut that off. Don't be tempted to use it, okay? And now this is my handle. So you're just going to take a little bit of glue and put it on your stick. And then you're going to take your book. You're going to open it to where you want it to be, and I'm going to use my glue bottle to keep it open. Then you take the page, which is my Tomoe River paper, and you're going to run the glue along the edge, and you just want to get it on that very little bit edge right there. You don't want a lot of glue. You don't want it to be all over the place. You just want to get that right there like that. Then you're going to take it and you're going to put it right into the gutter. Leave about 1/4 of an inch at the top there, and then just wiggle it down until it's right exactly where it needs to be. And I don't think I got enough glue in there. And then close it. And then your pages should be in there. And that's how you add a page into your Bible. So you don't want to have, you're not going to pull on it. You can still write on it. You can make your notes on it. You're not going to pull on it. But yep. The Tomoe River paper kind of just blends in with the Bible paper, so that's nice. So I'm going to show you again. So I have another one that I want to add in. That's a little illustration that I found for Psalms 118, verse 12. So let's get there. I think I bookmarked it. There it is. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. So I wanted to show you one more toward the middle of the book, and that's why I did this. So we're going to get our glue on here. We want to get a good amount on there. Okay. And then we're just going to run it along the edge, the very, very edge. And you don't want a lot. Just a little bit. you're going to stick it in right down into the gutter, and you put it out and then you slide it into place. And this glue dries fast and it already is sticking. Okay, so, and into place. There we go. So don't stop midway like I did. But yeah, so there, now it's in place. So now what you would do is you would take the wax paper, you would put one on this side, one on that side, and then you would close the book. I'm just going to leave the book open so that it can dry. This particular glue dries really, really fast. I'll have a link down in the description down below so that you can get some yourself if you want that particular glue. But any PVA archival quality glue is going to do just perfectly fine. So there it is. That's my page added right in. When I close it, you can't see it. It's invisible. But now I have space to write notes about this, and I have front and back, and I can write notes on it. I can add artwork, whatever I want to do, and it's going to last for as long as that glue holds out, which is a pretty a long time. And I've done this to my books and Bibles for years, and I have yet to have one fall out. I'm going to show you another way that you can do this, and since I showed you that way twice, I'm not going to show it to you again, but you can do the same thing here if you want to, into one of your little inserts for your traveler's notebooks. You would do exactly the same thing. Now, if you want something that's going to be more secure because you reference it a lot, then let me show you another way to do this. I personally don't like this particular way as much, but it does have its uses. Like I said, if you have a page that you're going to reference a lot, then you would want to do what I'm about to show you. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it in here. I'm going to do it in here. But you could totally do this in like a Leuchtturm or a Moleskine, whatever you want to do. This is going to be 4 1/8 by just under 7. I'm going to call that 5/16. No, it's exactly 7, but I'm going to do 5/16 because I want it to be slightly smaller. All right, so if I want it to be 4 1/8 when it's done, actually I want it to be exactly 4. I need a 4 1/4 so that I can do what I'm going to do. So I'm adding 1/4 of an inch, so 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Okay, and then it was exactly 7, but I'm going to do it slightly under 7. Let me see if I can get on my board. So it's exactly 7, and I'm going to do slightly under 7. So, and this is how book repair people. Now, granted, this is how I was taught, but there's more than one way to roam. And so don't come at me if you are a professional book repairer and you don't do it this way. I'm sure the way you do it is perfectly wonderful and probably much more correct than what I'm doing, but this is the way that I was taught. Okay. Okay, so slightly smaller. Okay, so now what I want to do is safety first, right? Safety first. Okay, so now what I would do is if I had rounded corners like this one, then I would use a corner rounder punch. But if I don't have a corner rounder punch, then I would use a coin that matched the radius or the diameter of the corner, and this one matches best. I'll show you how it's done if you don't have a rounder corner. So you take this, you line up edge to edge here, and then you just take straight cuts and you just cut the pieces a little bit at a time, and then you have a round corner. I'll go ahead and do this one too. So then you cut, cut, cut. And then you have your round corner. So if you don't have a corner rounder, no problem. You just need a coin and a sharp blade. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, this notebook doesn't have rounded corners, but that's okay. I wanted to show you how to do it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this over by 1/4 of an inch. So if you have a scoreboard, I highly recommend that you use that, but I'm going to use my eyeballs. And I'm going to use my board here so that I get it right. There we go. And this is the same Tomoe River paper, so it's really, really thin. It's picking up little pieces of, little crumbs of whatever project was on this board. So, all right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a piece of Sparrow paper on there. And then I'm going to lay a little bit of glue. Just the tiniest bit. You don't want a lot. And then always, always, always spread the glue out. Now, if this is just like your bullet journal and you don't want to use glue and you just want to use like a tape runner, then that will work too. Glue feels more permanent to me. Maybe it isn't, but so now what you're going to do is you're going to stick it into the gutter just like before, and I need a card. I'll use this. And you're going to stick this in there. There's a piece of string in my glue. Where did I get string? I'm not even sewing. You never can tell. Okay? And then you're going to, goodness, then you're going to just kind of get it where you want it to be. Get your card. Push it into the gutter, and then close your book. And then there you have it. And if you're, yeah, just get all the dirt off. So that's a good way to do it. If you have, well, that'll bug me. I need glue there. Just the tiniest little bit. There we go. So if you have a page you're going to reference a lot, I recommend you do it this way. And, you know, if you use the right paper, then it'll blend in. You won't even notice that it's there like that. But that'll keep it from coming out, and you don't have to use washi if you don't want to. Yeah, it's just a great way to tip in a page. So, yeah, that's what I was going to share with you today, is how to tip in to your book. And I bet you this one's dry now. Let me show you now that it's dry. Please don't fall out. Yeah, so it's really nice and strong. I'm pulling on it. It's nice and strong. So now I have a place where I can make notes. And where'd my other one go? Oh, there it is. Blends in so well, I didn't even notice that it was the page that I added. So, yeah. But that's how you would tip in. That's how you do tip in. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed that little tutorial. If you have any questions, maybe I left something out, but if you have any questions on how to do that, please leave them down below. And if you try it, tag me on Instagram. It's at the Chic Sparrow. I would love to see what you do and have some fun with it, you know, because part of the thing about traveler's notebooks is they don't have rings, so you can't move pages around. But with this, you know, you can take a page, you can type on it with your typewriter or print it out with your printer. You can do some artwork and you can tip it into your book. And if you're not a person who likes the washi tape method, which, trust me, I have done it plenty of times. I think it's an appropriate way of tipping in a page, but sometimes you don't want to use washi tape. So if this is one of those times, then this is a great option for that. And if you use the little tab method, which is what this is, then you have a page that you can refer to very often. It acts just like a page in the book. So with the washi tape, it kind of sticks here and here and then up here. So it doesn't really act like a page. It acts more like a tip like a taped in paper. Yeah, I can easily say that, obviously. But yeah, this acts like a page in the book. So it works really great. The trick to this, though, is to, I would use, you know, this works, but you really got to push it into the fold there, into the gutter, and then close the book and it'll glue. So, all right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.